Are your business expenses playing hide and seek? With Uber for Business, the small spends that slip through the cracks, like rides and meals, go right where you need them. Because it integrates with leading expense platforms, you can say goodbye to surprise costs, missing dollars, or chasing receipts. Everything's track downable. Uber for Business. Make small steps that make a big impact. Learn more at uber.com/small steps.
Llegaron los nuevos McCrispy Strips, listos para aventurarse en la mezcla de mayo ketchup, la barbecue que quedó en el fondo de la cajita, hot fudge sundae y en la nueva creamy chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Los nuevos McCrispy Strips, ahora en McDonald's. Para pa pa pa.
I think you're on mute.
Workday starting to sound the same?
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
Let's talk about something that will bother most of the martial artists along their way to the top. Welcome to Anxious Black Belt, podcast that focuses on karate, mental health, and everything in between. And today's subject is an inability to acknowledge success, fame, or progression. And I mean imposter syndrome. I think everybody within the martial arts wants to be the best version of their belt, and imposter syndrome is hitting people in different stages of their training. Some people get it earlier with the younger belts, so like green belt and above. Some people are hit with it during the examinations or gradings for a black belt. Some people have it later, and I've been there. I've suffered with it for a long time due to me comparing myself to other more talented people, especially to a top tier of athletes in the martial arts world. My biggest kind of disappointment was my inability to kick correctly high. But over the years, 25 years spent on improvements in technique and stretching, I finally realized that it is a design of my hips, and without the operation, hip replacement and so on, I'm never gonna be able to kick that high, that nice, and that correctly. So with that realization, actually my imposter syndrome for a technical abilities faded away. But then when I become a bit more recognized in the UK and all over the world and start teaching seminars, the imposter syndrome kicked in as well, because why people would come for the seminar with me, why people would come and learn from me and exchange their knowledge with me on the seminars. As I am not that athlete, I am not the top tier competitor in the world, and only what I've got is my experience and my thoughts about karate, my take on it, and a little bit of a bravery to step out there and put myself forward. And as some of you know, if you read my book, Anxious Black Belt, this is a kind of my way of fighting with my anxiety and fears. So I try to do things that I'm really afraid of. And it took me a good few years to push myself to go out there and do the seminars without being overwhelmed by it and overthinking why people would come in and train with me. And a lot of people helped me overcoming that from the scene of the martial artists who were already teaching, like Christian Vedevard, Ian Abernathy, and many, many others who were willing to support me, chat with me, share their experiences, and therefore I know that a lot of people went through that stage of imposter syndrome teaching seminars. And if you would like to try some of the seminars with us, best way to keep on track is to sign up to our newsletter. You can find it on our website. So www.lesbubka.co.uk as list of all the seminars. And if you're suffering with the imposter syndrome, pop in, train with us, chat, and so on. Because, like I said on the beginning, many of us going through that stage, and you probably gonna go through that stage, or you were through that stage where you're comparing yourself to other people. You want to be the best belt possible with the best quality of your martial arts, which is very understandable. And this is not only in karate, it's all martial arts as well. And some people have a huge fear of going higher with their belt, just of fear of failing and not representing that belt correctly. There's a pressure on expectation from other people because you are a black belt and you are the world champion. You're gonna take everybody out. You're gonna win with everybody. You are the superhero of the neighborhood, which in reality that's not the case. Again, in different organization is different, different focus on the abilities of a black belt. For some people, it's just a graduation of the basics, so you're starting the more advanced learning then. For others, it will be you got a complete fighter and then you learn more into a more like a technical abilities of the kata. You do research, you do historical research. For some, it will be just overcoming your barriers and difficulties in life and so on. And there are those we need to acknowledge that just sell the belts and you get them every 3 months just for turning up because that fills their pockets with a lot of cash. So it is a difficult situation with the belts because you need to have a clear vision of what to expect from within your group. And if you don't like that, then you look for the other group. But in all cases, you try to not compare yourself to the others because that only brings insecurities, jealousy, and kind of ill intent because you want to beat and win with the others, which is fine on a competition stage, but within a training and self-development, it just hinders you. I look at the black belts and all the belt is comparing to myself from 10 years ago or 5 years ago or a year ago and see how much I evolved. And same as a international examiner, I look on students who are grading under me or being assessed by me in the way what did they achieve for themselves, for their betterment through the years. Have they started with some form of injury? Have they started with a mental illness? Have they started with bad coordination or dyspraxia or something like that? And where did they go? What was the stages of development for them, reaching the milestones, going over the challenges, like maybe attending a seminar, maybe attending the competitions, maybe doing an interclub or something like that, do a display, how that impacted their mental well-being and physical abilities. And clearly, soon enough, you see that most of the people starting in a kind of disadvantaged position of being the weakest link in the club, and slowly they grading up. They might not match up. There's never in a club the equal quality of the belts, and I see that in every kind of environment where you've got the belts in. I don't see that so much in a like a combat sport, wrestling, boxing, and so on, because there's no that outside comparison. It's all based on your wins, and everybody knows who is where. But in karate, it is comparison on the belts, and you can have a 5, 6 black belts or blue belts or red belts, yellow belts, whatever your coloring is, and they all gonna be having a little bit different abilities and different strengths, different weaknesses. So it's very difficult to compare between each other. So it's best to compare them to themselves prior that belt grading. So, and we are all built differently, and we've got different qualities. Some people are stronger, some people are faster, some people are more coordinated, some people have got a more naturally better fighting IQ. If that's what you do, other can solve the puzzles of kata quicker or with a more kind of spatial awareness. They can perform the applications better. So it is very difficult to compare yourselves to other people. So the best way to do for me is to compare myself to me. So imposter gonna impact pretty much everybody, and we have to deal with it. It's a positive. It means that you are in check. You are with yourself. You are not delusional about your greatness, and you can critically think about what you're doing and how you're training. Don't do yourself the service comparing yourself to others. Focus on yourself, push through, and you're gonna be evolving. We're all evolving, and we need to stay focused on our journey and not the other people. Well done for listening to all of it. You are a superhero. Thank you very much for your support. And if you could leave us that review on a podcast platform, that would be amazing. I appreciate your time, appreciate your support, and I wish you all the best until the next one.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.